Hi, I'm Evelyn Puchta. I'm the account director at Cadence.
Hello, I'm Mahesh Turaga. I lead cloud business development and strategy for Cadence. We are here today to discuss SaaS portfolio from Cadence and the history of EDA in the cloud.
Thanks, Mahesh. It seems EDA in the cloud is all about peak usage and a consumption business model. Isn't that just about cost issue, or is there more to the cloud than that?
Absolutely, there is a lot more to the cloud that we're talking about here. If you look at the history of cloud in the EDA over the last decade or so, there is a transformation happening. There's a gradual shift that's happening. And I say today we are on the cusp of a massive cloud adoption in the industry. As many companies in the industry are moving towards advanced nodes, 3 nanometer and below, the compute infrastructure requirements increase by a factor of 5 to 10x. So that's necessitating a lot of these companies to look at acquiring this compute power, massive compute power that's available only in the cloud. So that's one shift that's happening. And collaboration is another aspect. Global collaboration, as many of these companies from electronics to mechanical design space are looking at coming up with the next generation chips, coming up with that next innovation, the collaboration becomes really important, and it's only possible in the cloud. I'd like to give you an example of one of our customers, M31. They're a silicon IP company. They adopted our cloud-based solution for precisely the same reason, to take advantage of the peak capacity. They adopted part of the design flow fully in the cloud. They basically used our library characterization solution, Library Trio, to achieve that significant scale up, 5x scale up in the engineering productivity, and 25x faster to market.
That's great. One of the things, I've been at Cadence for over 20 years, and I know that Cadence we've been providing hosted services for many years, and a few years back, we've been providing the cloud services, and we've been in this business much longer than others. And now we're seeing other EDA vendors providing their tools in the cloud. What is the difference? What is Cadence doing that's different?
Absolutely. Actually, I'll tell you a little story. Cadence started cloud even before there was cloud. This was early 2000s. We basically started this service called Hosted Design Solutions, where these companies basically ship their CAD department to our data centers, and Cadence would maintain the tools and the flows for those companies. We call that virtual CAD or VCAD. And then later on, we rebranded it HDS, Hosted Design Solutions, because we had a lot more demand from the customers to really host all these solutions in the data center. And we realized we could do this in the cloud, right? Because then we can really ramp up the capacity and down as needed, and we don't have to maintain all these servers. And so we've officially rebranded as Hosted Design Solutions, and that's how the Cadence cloud journey started. And 2018 was when we officially announced Cadence Cloud portfolio. At least 3 offerings. We had this Passport offering where customers can maintain their own environment. And the second one was Cadence Cloud, this HDS, Hosted Design Solution, where we maintained the end-to-end environment for them. And the third one was the Palladium Cloud, which was the emulation cloud.
Yes, it's worked really well with a lot of our startups too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then 2019 is when we announced Cloudburst platform. That's basically a fully offered service from Cadence, a SaaS solution that's available in the cloud for our customers. And today we have a significant adoption of the entire portfolio, or 250 plus customers using Cadence Cloud Solutions.
Yeah, a lot of my customers have taken advantage of that, and especially for peak usage, as you mentioned, they don't have to invest in these high-power machines that cost a lot of money, and then to use it only for a few months, right? And so it's really worked well there.
Absolutely. And then one thing I would like to make a point is they also use this for a full flow design, right?
Yes.
So many of them use it for a peak demand needs. And some of these smaller customers also use it for full design.
And the CAD services that you mentioned, for smaller companies, they can't afford to bring in a CAD person just to manage that, or IT. And so the Cadence cloud offering and the hosted services has done really well in the past years. And I know a lot of my customers have benefited from it too. Now, speaking of the startups that I've been working with, a lot of them are on our cloud, and they really appreciate the fast service that we have. There's no downtime. And we have a lot of smaller companies, but when you go to mid-sized companies, the hybrid model works better, right? Because there's a lot of tools that they're running the whole time, and the cost is high for being on cloud all the time. But for peak needs, it makes a lot of sense. So do you see larger companies interested in the cloud? I mean, I know that there's companies that are going directly to cloud, but what do you see on the EDA side for larger companies?
Absolutely. I think you're right that a lot of the small and medium businesses are adopting cloud more readily because of the upfront infrastructure costs and the need to really scale up quickly. They don't have all that capability to do that. But the large companies, definitely we have a number of customers that do have their own environments set up, right? They have their own huge data centers and they have their own cloud environments. And they are seeing a significant need to move to cloud because of, first of all, complexity of the chip design, right? So that's increasing day by day, and they don't have all that capacity on-prem. So we have a number of hyperscalers that do a lot of tape-outs in the cloud, leveraging their own cloud environments. So it's definitely a growing trend. You saw some of the announcements from NXP, ARM, etc. They're moving all their EDA workloads, many of the EDA workloads, to the cloud. So the momentum is here, and I think we are definitely on the cusp of a massive adoption of cloud in the industry.
I absolutely believe that too. So Mahesh, one of the things that Cadence is really focused on is on the system side, right? Intelligent system design. We've invested a lot on the system side. We have a lot of IC customers and now systems customers. Do you see system companies getting on the cloud, or are they asking about it? What's the trend there?
Absolutely. I think there's a huge, if you look at the industry overall, there's a huge transformation happening, right? Every mechanical company is becoming an electronics company as well. So a lot of these systems companies doing chip design and us moving into the system space. So there's a lot of convergence of electromechanical hyper convergence, that's what we call it, is happening. So if you look at the collaboration aspect of coming up with the next intelligent system, you need to have all these different pieces from IC side, from system side, from electronics, from mechanical, all these different domains working seamlessly together. So we recently announced, as you know, a partnership with Dassault, and where we are basically going to bring together the entire portfolio to address this this need in the industry, where we are going to enable our customers to come up with these next generation electromechanical systems together. So this trend is happening, and if you look at cloud is going to be a key vehicle to make this happen. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
All these teams are distributed globally, and each of these large customers, either on system side or chip or IC side, they have all these teams distributed globally. So cloud is going to be one of the collaboration engines, if you will, that's going to make this happen. So we see a lot of adoption happening on the system side as well. I actually come from the other side. Before I worked for Cadence.
Oh, that's right.
So there is a lot of simulation, for example, is happening in the cloud already, right? High intense compute power is needed for CFD simulations, for example, and so a lot of this portfolio is going to grow broad, and cloud adoption is going to be the way to go.
Yeah, even with the IC companies, right? I mean, they were working on cloud with other workloads, but not so much the EDA tools. And now we're hearing across the board that everyone is wanting to move there or in the process of moving there, and also doing the hybrid model. So I think that it's just a huge market for us and for the customers.
Absolutely. And as a company, as you know, we have been pioneers in this space.
Absolutely.
Ever since we started cloud, like early 2000s, as I mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And with our SaaS portfolio that we have, with the cloud-based SaaS portfolio, and with the newer models coming out in the future, we definitely are taking care of market needs.
Thank you, Mahesh. I really appreciate your time, and this was really informative. I'm very excited to see where this is going to lead because we're just starting out. Even though Cadence has been in this cloud business for a while, our customers are now really, talking about it and wanting to move their EDA workloads. So we're excited to grow with them. And if you would like more information on our cloud offering, please go to our website, www.cadence.com. Thank you.